Good morning, everybody. It's a chilly morning here in Victoria, and I am trying a little experiment today with our Panamera. Well, the culmination of an experiment, actually, just to see what the gas mileage of this thing is in general use. I wanted to see if I could squeeze 1,000 kilometers out of a tank of gas on this thing, which takes premium fuel. So now it says we got to fill the tank up. It's been a great car, but I just am really curious to find out because I'm driving it in EV mode quite a bit for local trips. Anyway, let's get started here. Okay, just oh yeah, we got extra RX-8s here. I'll be doing a video on this car I think today because it's going to start raining, so I want to do a video on this car today before the weather goes away, because this one's for sale and it's a really cool car. That one's our daily driver, old daily driver RX-8 under the cover there. And here's our beautiful Panamera. Now of course this has just been fully wrapped. I've just released that video, so now I can show you pictures of this thing all over the place. Anyway, if you come around this side, well, let's see, first things first. The gas filler is on this side. Okay, conventional gas filler. But if you come to this side, well, it's an unconventional. This thing is the port for your electric power. Now you can see it's all green with no flashing. That means it's fully charged. And we're just gonna press unlock. That will release this 1772 jack here. It's an SAE designation, by the way. And we put this little plug back in the port there. Close her up, and we'll hop in. The startup procedure with these cars, similar to most modern cars these days, you've got your, well, with the Porsche, they have an idiosyncrasy, which is that they always have to have the starter on the left. And here we have kind of a fake key. It's a vestigial key that you use. So you put your foot on the brake, and then you turn the key clockwise, and she comes to life. And it's complaining to me, mind remaining distance. Yes, we know. Fasten seatbelt. Okay, fine, I'll fasten seatbelt. Okay, here's a bunch of the relevant information. If we flip through these pages, obviously the engine's off, we know that. Well, the average consumption here is 5.7 liters per 100 kilometers an hour. And from now on, when I fill this tank up, I can now see my updated stats as I'm going to see exactly what my average speed is, average fuel consumption and distance and all the rest of it, right? All those calculations. But for today, I'm gonna do it longhand, okay? Just for fun. I just want you to hear how quiet this thing is. First of all, that's my sensor telling me, that's my parking sensor. So we're just gonna pull out. There we go. It'll stop beeping in a second. There we go. Now with the Panamera, you always start in e-power mode, which means electric mode. It always starts up in electric mode. That's just the default. So I'll show you where that is. That's the e-power mode there. So if you want to go to conventional hybrid, you have to press that button. But when you start off a trip, it'll be in e-power mode when you fire it up. So I'm going to leave it in e-power mode because I'm only going to the gas station. I don't need a lot of range. I want you to get a little feel for how smooth and quiet this car is. It's pretty amazing. Although my wife drove it away yesterday, and I heard the motor, or the engine I should say, for the first time from outside the car, and it actually sounded pretty decent. When you're inside, it's really quiet, really ridiculously quiet. I don't know if you can appreciate how quiet the car is. It's virtually silent. There's a little bit of, there's tire noise, there's a little bit of a whir whirring sound. Don't know what that's coming from. Is it the transmission? Probably drivetrain anyway. Yeah, transmission probably. That's it. There's nothing else. So if you want to crank up the tunes, it's pretty awesome because it's got a great stereo. And as I like to tell my friends, I can actually listen to classical music in this car. It's so quiet, which is doesn't, you know, maybe that's something that doesn't appeal to all of you, to be able to really listen to music, but it's a surprisingly nice thing. Oh, I just have to show you the lake over there. I forgot about that. It's really pretty. This is called Florence Lake. This area is really, really pretty. All right, and we're here. We have arrived. The distance, it says, was 2.6 kilometers, 5 minutes, and we consumed 0 liters per 100 kilometers because we're in electric mode. This is all off, so let's get out and we'll go fill her up. All right. It's got to be a month since I filled it up last. I can't actually remember. I didn't bother checking to see when it was. All right, let's go and get some gas. Alrighty, V-Power Nitro. Let's try this out. You know how awkward it is to do this with a camera? Amazing. Alright, let's fill her up. If you do come up this way in the wintertime like it is now, between whatever, October I guess, and the spring, you actually have to have winter rated tires or chains with you to go up this Malahat Highway, because they do get some fairly serious snowstorms from time to time. Same goes for Bear Mountain Parkway. I just noticed on a sign yesterday when I was going up there. That's why they call it the Great White North. $110.08. All right. Do I want a receipt? Yeah, sure. Why not? Okie doke, we are back. Oh, I almost forgot. Yeah, the trip meter before we filled up was 967.5 kilometers. Okay, got 57,000 and change of kilometers. So let's turn her back on. All right, let's see what our gas mileage was on this tank of gas. So we went 967 kilometers. And we used 73.4 liters of fuel. So I just kind of did a rough calculation here. So 7.59 liters per 100 kilometers, that works out to 7.59 liters per 100 kilometers average, which is roughly 31 miles per gallon US. That was for combined driving, city and highway. There wasn't a lot of highway driving actually in this one. This is mostly city driving, just driving around. That reflects the subsidy of electricity that's been put into this car, because it has been plugged in and driven around in partially in electric mode where possible. So that shows you that you're getting quite an advantage by having this hybrid system, right? Because it is 416 horsepower. It's pretty good horsepower. Gets down the road when you need it to. Big car, and yet it returns really quite decent average fuel economy. A lot better than the RX-8s, you know. I hate to think of what those things use around town. They're great cars, fun cars. However, around town they just suck gas. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You could do 100 kilometers and you're like through a quarter tank of gas or whatever, or more. And more actually. But they have a small gas tank as well, so they don't cost as much to fill up as this one does. But I was just trying to see if I could make 1,000 kilometers on a tank. Didn't quite do it, got pretty close. Maybe if we plugged in a little bit more. We're still learning how to do that, like where to find the plug-ins. And if my wife takes the car, which she did a few times, she doesn't plug it in at all. So it probably would have helped our fuel economy quite a bit if we'd been plugging it in more. But that gives you an idea. I think it's pretty remarkable, and it's fun to just fool around and see how well the car will do, and enjoy driving it in electric mode and hybrid mode and whatnot. Yeah, so that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the little exposition into fuel mileage. Bye for now.